Welcome to Rich Conversations, and welcome to this guided reflection. Now, what we're going to do during this session is spend about 45 minutes to an hour just answering basic, simple questions about our lives so that we can go forward with more calmness, more ease, and more precision in our actions. And through multiple sessions and through time and patience, everything will become clearer and easier for us. So, welcome if you're new. If you're here again, thanks for showing up again. So, we're going to start here, how we usually do. We haven't done this in a while, so this is very energizing to begin again. We're going to start with 5 minutes of just breathing, right? This is the most basic thing, basic function that a human being does, and we don't do it enough, especially not intentionally. I mean, we do breathe all the time, but we're going to do it very specifically, intentionally. Anyways, let's begin. 5 minutes. Okay, so I set a timer, and don't feel intimidated by it. It's just breathing in and breathing out. As a human, you already know how to do this. We're just putting more emphasis and focus on it, that's all. And if thoughts come to your mind, just let them pass. Let them go. Just focus on breathing in and breathing out. There you go. That was 5 minutes of breathing. How heavenly, right? I have this book out here. What is this? Test of the D'Urbervilles. You can find some old antique books at estate sales. So I think this one was $2. This was actually one of the books I read in English, AP English Lit in high school. And I saw this at an estate sale, and I mean, look how beautiful this is. We don't make books like this anymore, do we? Or if they do, they cost hundreds of dollars. This is artisan crafted. Anyways, I put the tripod on this earlier, and then now it's on an Oprah Winfrey biography, a little bigger. All right, so we started with some breathing, and I hope that reined in any emotions that you're having and cleared them. So we're starting fresh. And now I have my notebook here. This is my journal that I write in every day, and I use them for these reflection sessions. But all we're going to do, this is just meant to get us to think more about our own lives and the actions we're taking, and kind of seeing the runway of our life, and like how we're going to proceed moving forward. And these are very helpful. Not enough do people spend time just sitting down in silence and breathing and thinking about their own life. Which is interesting because we live in such an individualistic culture and everything is about us, yet we don't actually take the time for us in a very constructive, deliberate way. So we're going to do that, and we're going to benefit from it, especially doing it repeatedly. So the first question to answer is, what's on your mind? What's on your mind? I just want you to write it down. And if you're not able to have a piece of paper in front of you, maybe you're just listening to this, I want you to consciously think about what's on your mind. Use your mind to think about what's on your mind. All right? I've found that by really identifying items on my mind, I'm able to address them easier. A lot of times we have so much on our mind, it overwhelms us, but if we actually take the time to just identify each thing, then we can proceed and take care of them. Drinking some espresso. Just hits so perfect. Something that's on my mind is I'm going to Miami next week. And the last 3 days it's been raining. I'm here in Chicago and in the 40s. And I'm just like, just so charged up, ready to just explode with energy once I get to Miami, and just that sun and that warmth. But it's also kind of brought me down a little bit, and I've noticed in my moods that they've been a little bit more depressive. And it's thinking about that too. Don't be mad at the weather, of course. That is silly, but understand it is affecting me in a way, and we're going to have to overcome. We're going to have to dig a little deeper to kind of overturn that. But Miami next week, I'm drinking Cafe Bustelo. This is my favorite espresso. I tried all these different ones. I bought an espresso maker and tried all these different ones, even fancy ones, and nothing was hitting. And then I tried Cafe Bustelo, and the first sip I took reminded me of Miami. So the espresso I was drinking in Miami must have been Bustelo. So cheers. But what's on your mind? Something that's been on my mind is energy. Not just when you plug your phone charger into an outlet, but energy of humans and kind of the contagiousness of energy in a good way or potentially in a bad way. Like something that's bothered me or frustrated me, or I've noticed, is that when I go places in Chicago, whether it's like a bus or something, or even in a space, I have so much energy to be there, to be present. I'm excited. I'm here because I want to be. And the energy around me just isn't quite matching that. And I've taken notice of it. It's interesting. Is it Chicago? Is it elsewhere? Is it, so just, that's something I'm exploring. Is this kind of a microcosm, or is it something bigger? Energy. And then how do we generate more energy, like organically in a way? That's something on my mind, and certainly something like this, where we're intentionally thinking about our lives, can provide us more energy for living life moving forward, because we're more clear and more excited. There's this French producer, Louis Hoffman, and in one of his songs he talks about, or in the introduction, he's saying, I like using the word energy over the word excited, because excited can invoke anxiousness and kind of a carelessness, right? Like if I'm giving you a car and the car's across the street, you might be so excited that you don't look both ways and you could get struck by a car. Whereas energized is more focused, it's more concentrated and in control. So I've been substituting the word energized in place of excited. And I've noticed a difference. The next question I have for you and us is, what is something you feel clearer about? Clarity. What is something in your life that you feel recently you've gotten more clarity on? As an example, I'll share something I've become more clear on, and that's Rich Conversations, our podcast. It might have taken me 300 episodes to get here, but just the format and, like what I want it to be, and not having to fit into a specific idea of what a podcast should be. To me, they're just audio files. So it's like, what would give me energy to record for the podcast? And moving forward, I'm aiming to have guests, do solo, and do these reflections. Clarity. Clarity is something that is not talked about, is not necessarily highly valued, but when you experience it, it's so relieving, it's so fresh, so invigorating, and it provides so much energy. So, what's something you're clearer on? the next question that we'll ponder is, what is a problem you have, and what are 3 potential solutions for it? So we're gonna think about something we're experiencing that's frustrating us, that we know needs to be resolved. Let's think of 3 possible ways. Just 3, based on your intuition, instinct. Let's just list and write about 3 different things we could do. There's someone yelling on the street below. I'm on the 9th floor and I can hear them. It's a little incoherent. Oh, I see people in the apartments across from me in the building looking down. It always happens when I'm inside the building, never like on the ground and someone doing it. It's actually quite impressive, human beings' vocal power, where someone in the neighborhood can yell and you can be, multiple stories up in a high rise and hear them quite well. Human beings, quite fascinating. There's nothing we can't do. Humans. There's nothing we can't do. A problem, I'll share my problem. Among many problems that I have, right? I'm working on this book series called Nuance and Notes. And what I do is I go around to different cities, I take photos of designs on building facades. And then I use Adobe Illustrator, put an effect on them. They become black and white and they look so cool. They're like print ready, they're amazing, just so sophisticated and sexy. I just love it. And then I make books, right? And I'm done with Chicago and Paris. I was in New York last week or the week before that, and I took 4,500 photos. And during this time, I'm like, it's so labor intensive to put the effect on. I learned after my computer crashed, I can't do them all at once. So I'm doing them individually. These photos, that's what takes up the most time and energy. It's going through these photos and this effect to get them to black and white. And it's gonna take forever if I go through 4,500 photos. So I've been trying to figure out, I was in a cafe in New York in Lower East Side. An hour before I go to the airport, this guy is sitting next to me on his computer and he's in an Adobe program. And I'm like, hey, can I ask you one question about Adobe Illustrator? He's like, yeah, for sure. So I asked him the question, how do I do this in bulk? And then he talked about Photoshop, and really the vectorization of the photo creates so much information, and that's what slows the computer down. So maybe Photoshop or maybe Lightroom, something like that. So then I hop on those programs, I can't really figure it out. So then I go to the Adobe community forums, post there, and they reply with these sophisticated process answers, and I just don't, that my skill level and understanding is not like that. I just need someone to dumb it down for me. And then so I posted on social media, I have this problem, please help. If you know how, get me in a direction, right? But I think what I'm gonna do, so the option is like reaching out more and meeting with people to resolve this, trying to teach myself these more complex understanding of the program, or this is where I'm leaning now. I could go through and identify my favorite photos of each folder. I have numerous folders from like a folder of each day. Pick out my favorites and then apply the effect so that it takes up less time overall and I don't have to wait till all of them are black and white to decide my favorites. I think that's the way to go, and I'm gonna test it after this recording, after this session. So I'm really jazzed for that, energized for that. I think that's what it is. But a lot of times we can't solve our problems until we go through step by step what are the potential resolutions. And then we find something that works for us. It's been fun. This is the Miami trip is the last leg of kind of a 3-trip tour to different cities. We did Los Angeles early March, then New York, and now we're doing Miami. So we're going to go around and take photos of designs in Miami. And I'm mostly excited for just the weather. There's such a difference. I noticed that in LA when the sun was out. People talk about, oh, people in LA suck. I don't know that until I actually experience it. And in my experience, it wasn't like that at all. People were very pleasant. People were very willing to engage with me and as a human being. And I think it has a lot to do with the weather, the sun. There's like an overall pleasantness. That's what I'm thinking, like London, it's rainy. It seems rainy a lot of the time. It's gotta be a little harder to, I don't know. So I'm excited for Miami, energized. Miami has the spirit. That's what I love about Miami. It has a spirit to it, just a vibrancy. The colors and the people and the weather, everything is all reflective. Flora, fauna. So interested in the different plants and animals of different cities and regions. Magnificent. So we'll start wrapping up on a problem we have and 3 potential solutions. Maybe like another minute or so. this fourth question. What's something we can do to elevate our energy in public? When we're around other people, what's something we can do outside of our home, our apartment? What's something we can do to just like elevate the spirit, elevate our being in a way? Something I've been doing or have noticed over the past month is just when I'm interacting with people, being more present and patient in the interaction. What I mean by that is don't just talk, answer, and then move forward. I kind of float and see what happens. And I've been finding that people are starved for human interaction. And so if you just open yourself up just a little bit more to the idea of just spending 30 more seconds with this person, engaged with this person, it goes a long way. Like tenfold. It's crazy. It's really been eye-opening over the last month. Because that's something that I've identified I need to work on, is being more social. It's easy it's like easy to just be by ourselves all the time. It's very comfortable. So if we're able to but if we keep doing that, if we keep living that way, we're not going to experience the results that being more social will not just provide, but maximize. This has been something I've been experiencing or experimenting with over the past month, and it's just been mind-blowing. Just being a little bit more patient, being a little bit more open to engaging and pleasantries and compliments and, things like that. It's like light years. Try it out. society seems to be more and more transactional among people. So if we're able to kind of extend that transaction into something more, the benefits are really eye-opening. And you'll stand out in that most people that people are interacting with, it's just kind of like that. It's very transactional now. Whereas if you just be a little bit more playful, a little bit more open, the world will open to you. Something I would like you to think about is what you're energized most for next. What's something you're energized for coming up? All right, the last question for this guided reflection is, what's one thing you can do to improve your experience with your phone? What's one thing you can do to enhance the experience you have with your phone? So what's something you can do to kind of minimize your screen time in a way? Or what's an app you can utilize that will bring you more joy and that will save you time, less time on your phone, if that makes sense. Okay. What's one thing you can do on your phone to enhance your overall experience using your phone? Make your life easier. I'm not a proponent of apps in general. I'm thinking tools. So what's one tool on your phone you can use better and more proficiently that will overall enhance your experience in life and reduce your amount of time using your phone, screen time? I'm not an advocate of downloading an app to solve a problem. I think it's important to be very intentional about the apps you put on your phone and only have apps on your phone that you're actually going to use consistently. But if there's a solution not using your phone, take that option mainly. Like meditation, right? I think it's nearsighted to use an app to track your meditation or do meditation because it's conflicting in its nature. You want to enhance your life away from your phone. And so the solution to enhance your life away from your phone shouldn't direct you back to your phone. Something that comes to my mind is the external brain that I've designed through Google Spreadsheets. It helps me keep track of my actions throughout the day, the week, and then overall in habits. And it's become so fun that it's clarified actions I should take during the day, reducing the amount of time I spend on other apps, if that makes sense. It's like through this external brain, I'm able to identify things I should do. So I go do those things, and then I check back in with Google Drive. So I'm less energized to do more mindless stuff otherwise. External brain. Check it out. Get into it. Anyways, that wraps up today's guided reflection. Thank you for being here. It's a step in the right direction. It's a great step to take, and just spending the time to give to yourself intentionally, thinking about these bigger questions, it's going to help you so much in life, and I'm so energized to see what you do with it. So have a great rest of your week. Keep on keeping on. Be well. Be well.